Swati, I think we can go now to the other big state, Bengal. 152 seats are polling today in Bengal. So take us through what's at stake in Bengal.
Absolutely. Let's, in fact, first take a look at the key issues that the political parties are focusing on. Let's begin with the key issues. So Nari Shakti Bill, the latest, the Bharatiya Janata Party carrying out an extensive campaign highlighting how opposition has failed or betrayed the Nari Shakti. Then you have the issue of infiltration once again raised by the Bharatiya Janata Party as far as SIR is concerned. TMC says it was carried out to benefit BJP. BJP says TMC rattled because they are losing their vote bank, which according to the BJP is made up of illegal immigrants. Then you have issues like corruption allegations. We heard the Prime Minister and the Home Minister also talk about the issue of corruption, cut money culture, commission culture in TMC, the issue of women's safety, which the BJP has raised to corner the TMC. And then you have the Bengali identity, the fight between BJP and TMC escalating on this particular factor, the Bengal identity issue. Law and order is something that the BJP has constantly been raising during their campaign to hit out at the TMC. Let's very quickly also take a look at the SWOT analysis as far as the TMC is concerned. Strength, it has a governance record. It has been in power for 3 terms. Mamata Banerjee eyeing the 4th term as well. Mamata's personal connect with the voters on ground. As far as weakness is concerned, the biggest factor is anti-incumbency and the allegations of corruption against the TMC. Let's take a look at the other factors as far as opportunities and threats are concerned. So at the moment, this is what it looks like, the war between the BJP and the TMC. Let's take a look at the controversies. Number 1, agencies acting within law. That's the defense of the Bharatiya Janata Party to the allegation that has been leveled that this is nothing but political vendetta and misuse of power on the issue of central agencies versus states. Now, on the issue of TMC versus Election Commission, the TMC says that it's biased, there's selective enforcement. BJP says the Election Commission is acting independently. On the IPAC raids, BJP says this is action based on credible inputs, whereas the TMC calls it political targeting before elections. But remember, the Supreme Court also pulled up the Chief Minister as far as those raids are concerned. So there was a little bit of minor setback in terms of observations on the issue of fish, which again escalated. BJP says the consumption won't be affected at all. TMC says BJP will stop you from eating fish. So there's a quick check of what's transpiring in West Bengal.
I think you can go to the reporters as well, but I think the SIR issue, at least Mamata Banerjee and the TMC have made that the #1 issue. Swati, you can go to our reporters and ask them how this is playing out on voting day. 27 lakh, the final number of those who are under adjudication, and we don't know if they can vote, not vote. Judicial officers were appointed for it. 27 lakh is the total number of voters whose names are hanging in the balance, really, and whether or not that will have an impact, particularly in this first phase. You can go to our reporters, yes.
Absolutely. I believe we have Rajesh, Ridhita and Shivam joining us in the broadcast. Let me go across to Rajesh first. I also see a huge line of voters there behind you. Rajesh, the SIR issue, how important is it on ground?
Yes, absolutely. Right now I'm in Nandigram and we are tracking leader of opposition Suvendu Adhikari. This is the home turf of Suvendu Adhikari. As you can see, a huge number of people are in the queue to cast their vote, and right now the first phase of voting is underway and people are in the queue. They are casting their votes, and as Suvendu Adhikari has claimed that 90% of people are coming out to cast their vote to bring a change this time in West Bengal. Right now we can see Suvendu Adhikari is coming out from a booth. He's visiting one booth after another.
Visual ले लेना रंजन जी. नहीं कर visual.
बूथ विजिट कर रहे हैं.
धक्का मत मारो ना भाई. वोटर आज टुडे इज द डे ऑफ वोटर.
आप बूथ विजिट कर रहे हैं, क्या देखने को मिल रहा है अभी तक?
अरे यहाँ गंडगोल हुआ था पिछले बार, इस बार कुछ नहीं है.
अभी सब शांत है.
शांति शांति ओम शांति. पूरा शांति. अरे सेंट्रल फोर्स सब गुंडा को बोतल बंद कर दिया. यहाँ जो बड़ा बड़ा गुंडा आलराजी गुंडा में करता था वो नहीं है,
बस एक
भाग गया है. सब गुंडा को खत्म कर दिया. कोई गुंडा सड़क में नहीं है. आलराजी से सुफियान से सबको घर बंद कर दिया, सब ठंडा कर दिया. इस बार ठंडा चुनाव होगा, सरकार बीजेपी का होगा.
एसआर की वजह से या सेंट्रल फोर्स की वजह से क्रेडिट किसको जाता है?
क्रेडिट गोज टू इलेक्शन कमीशन.
लेकिन टीएमसी कह रही है कि इलेक्शन
पूरा देख लीजिए, एकदम
काम कर रही है.
एकदम सब गुंडा खत्म कर दिया.
So you heard Leader of the Opposition Suvendu Adhikari there saying that all gundas have been finished this time in Nandigram, where of course there is a high stakes battle. Last time he defeated the Chief Minister in that constituency barely by about 1,000 odd votes or so, if I remember from last time. But this time he's fighting from there, which is his traditional, family bastion as it were, and he's also fighting from Bhawanipur, from where Mamata Banerjee has been winning for the last many elections. Ridhita is also joining us. Shivam is also joining us. Ridhita, this SIR issue, of course, the TMC has made that into the biggest issue, but something that Suvendu Adhikari just said, which I think is a pertinent point. I remember last time in the 2021 elections, even on voting day, in these very faces, whether it was North Bengal, Murshidabad, Malda, even in places like Nandigram, there was a lot of violence that happened. This time around, as he said, the phrase that he used, Thanda Chunav Hai. What does that mean in terms of people coming out and exercising freely and fairly their chance to elect the next government?
Absolutely. You see, it is completely a Thanda Chunav that has been seen till it is 9 a.m. now, and till now we are seeing a very calm and peaceful election that is happening all over Bengal. Now, the first phase is given to the focus of North Bengal and Central Bengal. At this time, I am also in Malda, in the first minority baseline where we saw Sabina Yasmin, one of the most controversial faces, and she was also gotten an FIR due to the 7 judicial officers who were held hostage in Surajpur. So we were there in Sujapur, in Kalyachok and Mothabari, where we have seen a very peaceful voting happening. The narrative that has been created by the Trinamool Congress party on the SIR, we see that they have been stating that it is the ploy of BJP, the Bharatiya Janata Party, with getting the EC on board with them to only target Bengalis, target the minorities and the Bengali women. Right. They have also said that logical discrepancy only happened in Bengal, but the situation in ground was very different today morning, where we shot and we saw people, the turnout of these minority people. They've actually traveled from far places. In fact, the target that has been about Parijay Shramik, which was the migrant laborers, was a debatable point this election for both BJP and TMC. So people
you're making a very important point. We'll discuss that in detail. Ridhita, stay on with us. And before I go across to Shivam, let's quickly take a look at the voter turnout figure that has come in. And this is the latest that we are getting for you. Remember, 152 seats in the first phase of elections in West Bengal are in fray. 152 mostly in North Bengal and across several districts in South as well. So till 9 a.m., the voter turnout has been 18.76%. That's the latest we are getting for our viewers. Very quickly, I want to go across to Shivam. Shivam, what is the sense that you get when you speak to the voters there? What's the most important issue for them that will decide where their vote goes?
Swati, what we've been given to understand is that yes, there is a certain feeling of anti-incumbency, but is it just restricted to the Trinamool Congress? Even when we went to, as you rightly mentioned, in the first phase, it is in the North Bengal area, which has been, an area where BJP has done well in 2021 elections. So a certain level of anti-incumbency towards the MPs as well for BJP, but on a larger scale, because it is the North Bengal, it is near the chicken snake, so the SIR, the illegal infiltration of, the migrant laborers, was a major issue. People have highlighted this. Yes, they were trying to figure out how this entire thing happened, and that is why BJP is counting also on the SIR and also on the removal of votes, saying that all the mafias, all the illegal immigrants have gone and all the illegitimate voters have been deleted, especially from the North Bengal. BJP is personally trying to put a foot on the accelerator, especially in the first phase, because again it is in the regions where BJP has traditionally done well. In the last election also we have seen them gaining certain momentums. Out of the 77 seats, majority of them came from this particular area of the North Bengal, be it Siliguri, be it Darjeeling. What we have seen how now the member of Rajya Sabha are also coming from there as well. A diplomat was also appointed as the member of Rajya Sabha from there, Harshvardhan Singla, and he has become a face. He has become a face of the Gorkha areas, and we have seen Amit Shah also, the Home Minister himself going to the area and telling that we will resolve your problem, we will resolve the Gorkha problem, which has been a central issue, especially in the North Bengal, in the hilly areas. Coming to again, a communal tension area that arises near the Murshidabad or Malda. This is also an area which has got this certain attention of the voters, where again the communal divide and also the sentiment of being a Bengali can, play a major role. Remember, yesterday, Yogi Adityanath also said that this is the state of Kali Devi and not, of Kaaba. So identity politics is something that the BJP will be trying to bang on to consolidate their voter bank and to add the new voter bank as well.
All right, Shivam, we'll come back to you. I believe Suvendu Adhikari, the leader of the opposition, has spoken to my colleague Rajesh right after casting his vote in Nandigram. Let's listen to what he had to say.
देखिए, मैं जो वोटर लोग का रिएक्शन देखा ना, हिंदू खतरे में है, ये सब लोग को पता चल गया। टीएमसी का सरकार जमात का सरकार है, सबको पता चल गया। यहाँ तो ज्यादा नहीं कटा, 3800 बांग्लादेशी मुस्लिम कटा, वो उनका ही वोट था, 3800 और बाकी डेथ वोटर फेक वोटर है। नुकसान तो मुसलमान टीएमसी का जो गुंडा है, सब मुसलमान गुंडा नहीं है, इस बार बहुत वोट दे रहा है, लेकिन जो टीएमसी का मुसलमान गुंडा है उसका क्षति हो रहा है, बहुत क्षति हो रहा है।
All right, I want to go across to our guests. Mr. Niladri Bhattacharya is also joining us. Sanjay Jha, Tushar and Shekhar Iyer are also there with us. Advocate Niladri Bhattacharya, Mamata Banerjee has made SIR the biggest issue, but the fact is that if you were to look at that 57 lakh which were deleted and then the remaining 27 lakh which are up for adjudication, there's a large number, in fact a larger number of Hindus whose names have also been deleted, particularly in the Matua community, in the Rajvanshi community. So making this into a Hindu-Muslim issue because it suits her politics, how does that play out?
See, Zaka, what has happened, the SIR, as the BJP earlier wanted to delete those Muslim and the dead and the other voters, but ultimately what has happened, what we are seeing today is that 63% of the deleted names are Hindus. That's the number one point. Number two point is, as far as the Muslims are concerned, we have seen people from the villages, they enter, let's say, polling booths where there are 852 voters, out of which 800 voters have been deleted, and they're pending for adjudication. Now, the problem arises that what happens if those voters later on come to the adjudication process and they are said to be citizens of the country? What happens then? Because then a citizen of the country has lost one opportunity to vote. This is where how the TMC position itself, SIR. The more important position is the TMC has started portraying that it is a fight between the Bengali sentiment and the anti-Bengali feeling, which they say the BJP professes to practice. That is where the main fight is going to be this time.
Well, last time also they made it into Bengali versus non-Bengali outsiders and so on. But we'll see if that has traction. I believe we got a piece of breaking news. Just when we were saying there's been no violence, touch wood, we're just getting some news to the contrary.
Absolutely. So